Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O father. As Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Shalom, brothers and sincere sisters in this thing of ours. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutation to you like the Akim across the four corners of this earth, kicking this word in all sincerity and in all truth. I just wanted to bring a few scriptures out, just going into this devil ruling over us, okay? And with him ruling over us, again, I brought this out before, we might have certain feelings of, I don't want to say envy, but, look at it and be like, this guy's ruling over us, really? But it's ultimately part of our punishment. Ultimately, he's just living out his blessing that was given unto him in the scripture that I just read. But like the scriptures talk about, hastily receiving a blessing, it won't really stand. And that's not verbatim, but I'll bring the scripture out here shortly. But again, I was just going to bring out a few scriptures just going into this devil. I was reading an article earlier today, and it just kind of like sparked something in me to do this lesson. Because in this article, it talked about how, it's talking about those so-called Jews, those gutter rats, those Amalekites. And they're talking about pretty much how they gotta, continue to be a light to the nations and this and that. And people are really believing that these bastard children are the sons of the Most High, are Israelites, and they've deceived the whole world while they've done that. With them ruling this world by the sword, they really took on the identity of us, who are actually the real Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, But ultimately, prophecy has to be played out, okay? And by the way he's ruling, he's gonna fall 10 times harder, He's ruling in carnality, he's ruling by the sword, he's ruling in all aspects of wickedness, okay? And it's just balance at the end of the day, because when the Most High sets up his chosen people, it's gonna be a world ran in righteousness, okay? But this devil's gonna have to go down first. But ultimately he has to live out his blessing, which we see it before our eyes. And if you have spiritual eyes, you can see it's getting ready to fall here very soon, okay? But I'm gonna start at verse 38 again. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Now I'm going to go to this word fatness really quick, all right? Give me one sec. Where there is much man, all right? And it says fatness, a fat piece, a fertile place, richly prepared food, okay? And that richly prepared food was really that raw meat, okay? But he still rules the world with that raw meat mindset, okay? With that meaty carnal mindset. Everything he comes up with is carnal. He's not spiritual at all, period. But he claims to be the people of the Most High, all right? Everything is carnal. Just when it comes to the shows that they put out, the people that they endorse, just the example that they show amongst themselves. This is the most carnal people on the planet Earth. And with them having this satanic carnal vibration, they got a lot of Jake acting this way, because people look at these guys and be like, well, they are the leaders, they are the guys of this world, so what they're doing must be right, I'll have to do the same thing. And Jacob, they might not say that, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they might not say that with their mouths, but just through their actions it shows otherwise, it shows otherwise, Salakia, all right? But again, it talks about, continue, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and above the dew of heaven from above. Okay, so his blessing is here, having the fatness of the earth, having all the riches, all the big houses, all the money, all the cars, just all the glory. People are again looking at these people and saying that they're the people of God. They didn't change all the faces of the judges to really look like them through iconoclasm, okay? And they also had these space stations, all right? They're flying out to space. They're just portraying themselves to be like the Most High, as the scriptures talk about, okay? These guys really didn't got to the point, well, they know their kingdom's about to fall, but they really got to the point where they're making God particles. They're cloning people. They're putting genetically modified foods in your stomachs. They're just really trying to, they're really showing their birthright and really showing the type of people that they are. Okay? Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And again, they are ruling by the sword. These are world-class hunters we're talking about. Even when you go to Esau himself, when you read the book of Genesis, it talks about how he was a hunter. All right? And he's ruling the world throughout death right now with that sword. He's the one making the nuclear weapons. He's the one making all the missiles. He's the one making the guns. And you can even think to a larger scale of hunting that he's doing that a lot of people don't really consider. They don't consider the fact that with him actually putting poisonings in the food and this stuff gives you cancer and kills you, that's another way of hunting, another way of killing. Because when you just go to hunting, it's just sport of game to kill. So that's what he's doing to his brother Jake right now. He's hunting us every chance he gets while we're out in the streets. The cops are shooting us daily. They're getting paid leave. Again, they're putting genetically modified foods. They need to make you sick so you die. They're even using population control and using media and putting homosexuality in there so Jacob, men and women, will become homosexual so they won't reproduce, and that can also lead to a nation being destroyed as well. Even when you go to the Georgia Guidestone, you can look at one of the commandments on there, and it talks about how they're trying to reduce the population from 8 billion to 500 million. And in order to do that, you got to kill off 97% of the population. And again, these are examples of the strategies of war that these devils have, because they're ruling the world with the sword right now. Okay? All right, now I'm going to start at verse 40 again. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from his neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And if you if you have eyes to see, you can see that this devil truly hates you. Okay? I'm talking about he's getting ready to vote for Donald Trump to become president, and Donald Trump is a key example of America, white pride, white power. And a lot of these Edomites are getting ready to vote for this guy because when he says we're going to bring America back to what it was, that means we're going to have you niggas in a subjection. And that's their ultimate goal because they hate us. They hated us from the womb. We were fighting since the womb. Okay? But this is just prophecy that has to be fulfilled, prophecy that has to be played out. All right? And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And again, that's happening right now. It's really been happening since Isaac's been dead. This is perpetual. Every time. Technically, this goes all the way back to Cain and Abel. Cain spiritually being Esau, because when you go to the name Cain, it means dagger, okay, or weapon. And that's what he did. He had killed his brother with the dagger because he was envious in his brother, because his brother sacrificed to the Most High. How his brother wasn't subject to the Most High, who was Abel. And Abel was the Most High's favorite, so Cain envied him and killed him. And that was just reincarnated to Jacob and Esau. Now Israel and Esau, Israel and Edom. It's happening perpetually. Perpetually, they try to take you out the equation. They'll be quick to tell you that you being a racist when you bring up the slaughter of their people and how they actually received this land, which is off of blood, by killing their brother. Consider you being a racist. This world is turned upside down because of this devil. But ultimately, it's going to flip. It's going to go 180 degrees. Like when you go to 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, it talks about Esau as the end of the world and Jacob was the beginning that followeth. There is not going to be a kingdom that's going to rule like this ever on the face of the earth again. All the riches that this devil's received, all the blessing that he's received, is going to be spewed out of his mouth. The more you eat, the more you keep on eating, you'll vomit it back up if you continue to eat like that. And that's what this devil's doing. That's why you see the society collapsing the way it's collapsing right now. That's why you see the stock market getting ready to fail. Wall Street. You can't even look at the Dow and not see something going on with the currency. Okay? All these other nations are getting ready to come against this devil. You can't go all over the world and see that these other nations can't stand this so-called white man. Okay? I'm going to go to another scripture, and it's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 21. And it reads, "An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed." Like how he sought out his blessing with tears. He wanted it really bad. He wanted something, and he received it. But he received it in haste. Okay? And it talks about, but the end thereof shall not be blessed. And the end of this devil's kingdom isn't going to be blessed, especially the way he received this kingdom. In blood, murder, greed, deceit. He received this kingdom. He received this place on every sinister aspect. There was nothing he had done positive to receive this land. He did it through being wicked. He did it through being the devil. Okay? That's why it says, but the end thereof shall not be blessed, because this place is going to end in nuclear destruction. And we know that's not going to be blessed. And the blessing is going to continue with Jacob. And that's when Jacob's going to rule. When the Lord cracks them clouds open and sends his angels on here, right when that destruction's going on, we're going to gather you devils up. We're going to put y'all in slavery. Y'all going to serve for 1,000 years, and y'all going to get burnt up, man. Because you wanted to receive your kingdom in haste. And you ruled it in haste. You ruled it in carnality. Okay? I got another. Actually, I'm going to continue. Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on Yahweh, and he shall save thee. Okay? So it's not black culture is not going to save this place. Being a Black Panther, part of the Black Panther Party, is not going to save this place, okay? Being part of Egyptology, Kemet, Sonetta TV is not going to save this place. Nation of Islam is not going to save this place. And tearing down your neighborhood isn't going to save this place. All vengeance belongs to the Lord, as the scripture says. That's why it says, but wait on Yahweh, and he shall save thee. But Jacob don't want to wait. Jacob was very impatient. That's why it talks about being patient in the scriptures. Okay? We got to suffer through these afflictions. We got to suffer through this patience. Okay? It says the meek shall inherit the earth. And that's another word for saying the patient. The word patient means to suffer. So you have to suffer first, because this is our captivity. The Lord's going to do it in due time. And when he does it, it's going to be marvelous how he's going to destroy our enemy. Like Sirach, the 25th chapter, the 7th verse says, I count, I believe, 9 things happen. The 10th, roughly paraphrasing, but it talks about a man that seeth the downfall of his enemies. And that's something that we're going to see here in the very near future. Well, at least how prophecy's been played out so far. Ultimately, we really don't know the day nor the hour that the scriptures say. But just the way prophecy's being played out, deep down, if you're spiritual, you can see it happening very soon. Okay? I got another scripture I'm going to go to, and it's going to be in the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 15. I'm going to start at verse 14. Yet his meat and his bowels is turned. It is the gall of ass within him. And it's funny because, the meat in his bowels, that's all the meat he's ate, the carnality. Again, it can go back to Jacob and Esau, how he ate that raw pottage, okay? Just being a carnal man ruling the world, okay? Verse 15, he hath swallowed down his riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Like I mentioned earlier, it's only so much you can continue to eat, continue to, what's the word I'm looking for? Indulge yourself in, before it all comes back out, okay? Like Obadiah talks about, with the grape gathered till he have gathered enough grapes. Pretty much, he's gonna keep on eating and eating and eating and won't leave none for nobody. That's how this devil ruled. He's gonna continue to overindulge in himself to the point where he throws everything back up. And again, that's happening right now as we speak. That's why it says he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. So that's gonna be cast out of his belly. All the riches he got in deceit is everything that he's done to receive these riches that he got in deceit is going to fall on his own head, like the scriptures talk about all over the place. Okay? It says, he shall suck the poison of asps. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he laboreth for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. Look at every place he ruled. Let's go all the way back to Greece and Rome. He had subtly entered into that land, gathered intel, worked with those people, built with those people who were the Etruscans, by the way, who were Japhites. And then slowly but surely they had taken down that place and called it their own and built it there. And it got destroyed throughout their own wickedness. And then, now over here in America, it's the same thing. You had the Northern Kingdom over here. You went here, gave him a hug, and stabbed him in the back. You don't think you're gonna have to pay for that? They've taken this place in deceit. They have taken this place violently, like the scripture talk about. When you read this, who else could it be talking about? These are the same people that would cut a woman's stomach open and stomp on the fetus just to implement fear. These are the same people that were buck-breaking male slaves just to implement fear in front of their families. These are the same people that took down a nation of people and put them in slavery and put pictures of themselves up and said they are the Most High. Shall that not be accounted for? I don't think so. Okay? He didn't build this land. We built this land through a whip on our back. So should that not be accounted for? Should that not have to happen to them? That's not what the scriptures talk about. It says in Revelation, the 13th chapter, and I'll just go to it really quick. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's why it tells us in the book of in the book of Proverbs, the 20th chapter, to wait on the Lord. Okay? When you go to that word patient, one sec. That word there in the Greek is
Strong's G 5281. Upamane.
Okay. That means steadfast, consistently. See, endurance. Okay. Patiently and steadfast. Patient, steadfast, waiting for, enduring, sustaining, perseverance. Okay. So we have to be endure. We have to have endurance in this thing. While this devil's ruling for us, we have to be patient. We have to wait. All right. We have to wait because our blessing is coming soon. Our kingdom's coming soon. We just got to wait on our king to deliver us out of this madness. Okay? But it tells us right there in that verse that what they did to us is going to have to happen to them, That's why it says in Revelation, the 18th chapter, give double unto her. So they're going to receive everything that we've went through, and it's going to be multiplied to them. And then they're going to get burnt up. Okay? I got one more scripture I'm going to go to. And it's in the book of Proverbs, I believe the 13th chapter. Yeah, the 11th verse. And I'm going to end it off on this one. And it reads, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Okay, so wealth gotten by vanity, by meaningless things, by carnality, all you can think of, by deceit, shall be diminished. It shall be brought to naught. Okay? I believe the precept to that is in Sirach, the 5th chapter, the 8th verse. I don't know it right off the head, but it talks about stuff gotten off deceit will pretty much be burnt up. It ain't gonna matter at the end of the day. These buildings that you see, these Edomites, these devils riding in their Porsches, Lamborghinis, their big buildings, their big businesses, their big houses. All that stuff's gonna be diminished at the end of the day because they had got it off of blood. And like the scriptures talk about, if you build a land off of blood, your blood has to be has to be shed. Okay? Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to judge these people off of the law because they want to declare his statutes. So since you wanted to declare his statutes, you're going to die according to the law since you wanted to put yourself in that standard. And that's just how it goes. I believe that's in Psalms, the 50th chapter, the 16th verse. Where is that to be? Declare thy statutes. All right? But he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Okay? And who is that talking about? Okay? Who the ones out here laboring, toiling day in and day out, putting up sit-downs, doing lessons on the highways and byways teaching? That's the elect. The elect labor shall be their increase. And what's our increase, Lord willing, we those men? That's the kingdom of heaven. Ruling your enemy with a rod of iron. Spiritual power. Every good thing that you can think of. Okay? That's going to happen to those who patiently wait. Like it says in Proverbs, the 37th chapter, the meek shall inherit the earth. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a kingdom. And we're going to rule it a lot better than these damn devils. We're going to actually show you devils how to rule while y'all got a whip to your back. Okay? And that's just the way it is. All right? But I didn't want to make this too much more longer. Lord willing, it was edifying. But it just goes to being that simple. This devil ruled in carnality. He's going to die the same way he ruled. Okay? He ruled in deceit. He ruled in fire. He ruled in death. Hey, that's going to be his utter destruction. Because he lived by the sword. His blessing was the sword, right? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, like the scriptures say. So you rule with the sword, that's how you going to get taken out. Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutation to you like the Akim across the four corners of this earth, kicking this word, sincerity and truth. Man up, shalom.